was printing brackets for robots that we were making as a part of this class. The 3D printer we had was a Stratasys Dimension, so it's like a $25,000 machine. And at that time, 3D printing was just this magical, inaccessible engineer's technology. Little did I know at the time, but just a few years after that, MakerBot was going to come out with their first 3D printer. Voodoo Manufacturing, we've been around for about 6 months now. I met 2 of my co-founders when I was in college, and then we started a 3D printing software company that we ended up selling to MakerBot. After MakerBot bought our first company, which was called Layer by Layer, we worked there for about 12 months. And during that time, I was put in charge of a piece of software called the Innovation Center Management Platform. It's like a manufacturing process management tool. When you have one printer on your desk, it's really easy to plug it into your computer or run it off an SD card. But the minute you start getting to 10, 20, 30 printers in a room, managing what they're all doing and whose print is on which printer is actually very difficult. And so we built a piece of software to help with that. All the printers are connected over USB and they're networked. It goes into one cloud-based, basically, website where you can view all the printer statuses, start prints, move jobs between printers, and track all the statistics. So we built that software while we were at MakerBot. And that's how we kind of got introduced to this idea of lots of 3D printers in a room used as a manufacturing center. In May of this year, we spun out Voodoo Manufacturing from MakerBot. We have a partnership with MakerBot. We bought 127 Replicator 2s, Replicators, and Z18s, and built this factory here in Brooklyn. There's a world record for the largest number of printers in a room at any given point in time, but this is the largest factory of 3D printers. What we find ourselves constantly focusing on is how to remove the startup costs that go into manufacturing. When you start injection mold, you have to get a mold made, you have to pay for all this changeover time as they remove and replace plates in a giant molding machines. There are no economies of scale. On the reverse side of that, there's no $2,000 startup cost. The first one costs as much as the 1,000th one to make. Once you get to a high enough volume, everything should be cheaper. That's a great notion when you're supplying hundreds of thousands of parts to customers and clients. But when you're trying to get off the ground and you just have a prototype, it's very prohibitive because you can't get started without these huge costs. We're calling it bridging the gap. We're trying to bridge the gap between a prototype and mass production. Mass production being whatever it is for your product.